What's good, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. Everybody said, what you do last night?
Well, my homeboy was he was in town from Jacksonville.
Okay.
And we hung out, we kicked it, we went out for a little bit. I had me a couple drinks. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy myself too.
You know, I like to indulge on occasions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a nice evening yesterday. I guess I'll put it like that.
So for those that's watching, I asked because Jay hit me earlier. He's like, man, what are we supposed to be talking about today?
Yeah, man. I was sitting there like, I was like, hey, man, what's the topic again? Yeah.
So from there, I knew. I was like, he enjoyed himself last night. That's the only.
I was gonna be prepping for one topic, and you hit me with something like, whoa.
Like, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here like, yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for setting me straight because our show was it wasn't looking good for the boy.
Hey, nah, man, nothing wrong with it. You know, I just realized the Jags don't play till 4:25 because they over in Los Angeles today. So I was like, shoot, I just laid in the bed a little longer. Was watching The Boys on Prime.
Yeah. I'm caught up on that.
Oh yeah, man. I actually just finished season 2 before this started. Man, let me tell you, and that joint was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I'm curious where they take season 3, if there's a season 3.
Well, there is. They already before the season 2 was even released, because I follow this show. Mm-hmm. They announced that season 3 was already good to go. They already were renewed for season 3.
Oh, okay.
So, but like yourself, based on how it ended, I am curious to kind of see how they are going to pick up from season 2.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be sitting around that Congresswoman. Yeah,
that part. And one thing I do know, I don't know if you ever watched Supernatural. Mm-mm. But there's a guy. It's kind of like it's more of a popular show that's been around for a while. But one of the actors, Jensen Ackles, he's gonna be in this show as a character named Soldier Boy. And from what I'm hearing, he's supposed to be in some sort of conflict with another character. Without telling too much, unless you kind of know the comic. But yeah, it's a The Boys is a good show, man. I think it's a unique take on the superhero genre, more so than like the common themes that you see in the superhero shows for sure.
When somebody was like, it's a superhero show, I'm thinking, I looked at it, I was like, well, if it ain't Marvel or DC,
you don't want to, yeah.
How? But then when I started watching, I was like, okay, mm-hmm. This is dope. This is pretty dope. So, but anywho, so yesterday we got to talking, mm-hmm. and while we were just like wrapping our brains or whatever, we kind of just walked into, what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
So one of our popular questions that we get is, what should I do? What can I do to meet this goal, or to lose fat, or to gain more muscle, right? And as we were talking, we was like, what was the answer you gave? I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I just said whichever one you can keep up with, whichever one you can stick with, that's the best one. You know what I'm saying? And like, it just, to me, that's always kind of been maybe not the answer in terms of like the most optimal in a study of a group, but as far as an individual, mm-hmm. well, like when someone says, hey, what's the best diet? I always say, which the one that you can keep up with, what's the one that you can keep doing.
Right.
Because, that's essentially what it boils down to. If you aren't consistent with it doesn't matter if you choose the program or the diet or whatever that is statistically proven or scientifically proven to be the most successful based on a group of people. If you can't adhere to it, then what's the point?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So then that's when I go around to, all right, which one can you maintain for a substantial period of time? That's the best one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because I know that, like, I have family members right now that, they struggle with consistency, right? Like, they'll do something for maybe like a week or two, maybe a couple of days, and then they lose motivation, or I go to them, I ask them, I'm like, hey, you're going to join me today for the workout or whatever? I'm just not feeling too good. Okay. Well, I see you on the next day. Then I go back to them, hey, you going to join me today? I might. You know what I mean? Then you start, and then you start seeing a pattern of them not coming versus them, coming. So I definitely agree with something that you can stay with, because there's so many diets out there. You got keto, you got plant-based, you got
intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. So you have all these different types, and I think I said this a few episodes ago. Whatever I do, I can follow this person's, the next person's diet plan, workout regimen, and still not get the same results as that person. Right. But I think you have to take a good look at yourself and figure out what works best for you. Right.
Because, studies are a great way to get a general consensus of what works for most people. Mm-hmm. But that is not necessarily indicative of an individual. So, like you just said, you could probably put, 50 people on the same regimen, and you're going to see similar patterns or similar results, but everyone is not going to have the exact same turnout. Right. So then that's when you have to look at tweaking it to what works for you as an individual. Mm-hmm. So that is, that's essentially what it kind of boils down to in terms of, the best program or the best diet, those things kind of come into play. Those factors come into play when you're looking at, how to sustain those things, or how to sustain those regimens.
Right.
So
let people see your shirt. Because I think
you see it. Oh, you see it.
Yeah.
You see it. Oh, you see it. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
You see it.
I think it all ties into. Well,
let me get the wristband off real quick. Hold on. Let me get the wristband off real quick, baby. You see it. Hey, the wristband's gonna be available for sale soon. I'm plugging. I'm doing a plug. I don't care. I got the wristbands coming too, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got to tie that in, because we was talking. I posted a picture not too long ago on my board. I have as soon as you come into my area, there's a quote, and my wife, she writes these quotes out for us, and I look at them, as I come in and I train, and it's always a motivational quote in there. But I had on there the other week that said, discipline beats motivation, right? Because there are going to be times where you're not motivated to work out, or you're going to have them down days. We said this. Yep. You have them days where you kind of just you ain't filling up the par. You have that look in the mirror. You just don't like what you see, But that's when that discipline kicks in, And you know that even though you don't feel like doing something, even though you don't feel like, and this is more than just fitness, this is just anything. This is any goal.
That's life, bro.
Right? Yeah, life itself.
For sure.
Motivation is down when life is getting you down, and you just don't want to. You just want to quit. You know, that's when that discipline kicks in, and that discipline is what keeps you going. Because even though you know that feeling of not wanting to continue on is not there. That discipline lets you know that, hey, I understand this feeling. I understand where I'm at. And I just know that, hey, that's one of those rocky paths that I'm in right now. But if I continue the path, I know that, as time continues, I will eventually reap the rewards because I have continued to be disciplined in my actions. So,
absolutely.
But
hey, I want to.
I think you have a better take on it.
Well, I really don't. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. When one of the first videos I did was exactly what you said, discipline, not beats motivation, but I basically the video, I think it was titled Discipline versus Motivation, or motivation versus discipline, one or the other. But I kind of highlighted the differences between the two. Mainly, discipline is what you do. Motivation is how you feel about things you want to do. So that is the difference. Discipline is without any emotion. It's like when people, and I use sports as a great example because sports is a great example. When an athlete, let's say a wide receiver, when they're practicing coming out of their routes, maybe breaking out of their routes, whether they're doing like a slant or 5 yard in or a 5 yard out, 10 yard out, whatever. And that continuous repetition, that comes to a point to where they've made that so much of a habit in their lives of practicing that it's almost like their body's on autopilot. And then they're able to kind of do it in their sleep. I mean, people talk all the time about the best receivers in terms of athletics, but some of the best receivers weren't the most athletic people. They maybe weren't the fastest. They weren't the quickest, but they ran almost textbook routes. And they just knew how to run and get open and run the best routes. And that comes from practice. Practice, I think, is what happens. And I don't want to get too far away from our topic, but, discipline is important in that regard because it helps us to hone in on what is needed to get the job done, as opposed to trying to rely on how we feel. The same way sometimes athletes can rely too much on their athleticism, which is God-given, as opposed to discipline, which is actually working and trying to fine-tune your skill. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. And that's what I think life is, in the fitness space. What I think discipline is you're basically trying to create a scenario to where your body can eventually shift into autopilot, where getting up and going to the gym is just a part of your regular routine, or getting up and going for a walk in the morning is just a part of your regular routine, by building up that constant practice of doing it over and over and over and over again until it's almost like second nature. Some people come home and before they go in the house, they check the mailbox. Yeah. That's just a habit. That's a habit they develop. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Sometimes you wake up, may get a quick little bite, go for a walk, wake up, have a meal, go to the gym, or whatever the schedule is. I'm just using morning as an example, but the discipline does not lie is basically just what it says. And there's different phrases that kind of say the same thing. You are what you repeatedly do. You've heard that phrase. It's the same thing. So what you're doing tells a story. You feel what I'm saying? Right. You could look at a person and say, oh man, never have known them in your life. But if you see they look a certain way, you might say, oh man, I'm pretty sure they work out based off of how they, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that it's like you can tell just based off of the end result. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's.
So how does one even begin that cycle? Because we deal with people all the time that struggle to even just find that pattern or even get into that pattern, because you'll go 2-3 days and then it's almost like you'll fall back into a pattern of not doing or not going. So how can one get into that pattern and keep it going so that they can build up the discipline?
You beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you that question.
Oh,
I was going no. I'll answer it, but I want to ask you, what is something that, let's say you've never tried something. We'll even kind of space it away from fitness first, just for a second.
Okay.
Let's say you didn't know how to dance, right? Do you know how to dance?
I'm a little flimsy.
Okay. All right. So we're good. We'll go with that. Let's say you don't. So what happens when you don't? What happens? You don't know how to dance. Learning to dance can be a intimidating thing. A lot of times, more often than not, you're going to be dancing either with a partner or in front of other people. Let's say you're learning to do salsa. Mm-hmm. What is something from learning to dance that would make you want to come back? If you had fun, right? Yep. If you enjoyed it. Okay. So that's one thing. So the first thing with discipline is try to find something about the work or the routine that you enjoy. So like I tell people, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. It doesn't have to be, powerlifting. It doesn't have to be CrossFit. It doesn't have to be any of that. Mm-hmm. It could be Zumba. It could be aerobics. It could be Pilates. It could be yoga. It could be kickboxing. It could be boxing. It could be, it could be anything. It could be recreational sports, something that you enjoy. I think that's the first thing that you want to try to find, something that you can enjoy doing, even if it's physically taxing. Mm-hmm. Playing a sport is physically taxing, but I have fun when I play a sport. I have fun, what I'm saying? Maybe not the next day when I'm trying to get up, but
yeah, right.
But I think that's the first thing, right? Or let me not say the first thing, but I think that's one of the things is the enjoyment of the work. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in that same thing, learning something, what else would make a person want to continue learning it? I think the simplicity of it. If it's something that's easy to follow along with. I think that's another thing with trying to work out or working out. I think a lot of times I see and I use strength training as an example. I see people sometimes they have like a list of 12 exercises for a muscle group. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, cut that in half at least, or maybe a third of that. You don't need 40 different leg exercises. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Pick 4 that you like. Master those 4. And then you can periodically switch those out for another 4. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't need 50 different exercises. You just get you a simple, and those things you can master through repetition. Those 4 exercises. Okay. And then over time, you can switch one out for a little bit of variety. But I think simplicity keeps people engaged more than variety. Because the thirst for variety will only come after the things that you're doing seem easy and simple. Yep. So simplicity, I think, is next.
And I think that go back to the other week. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't know what these fitness trainers are trying to do, what they put on Facebook, and I don't know who you think going to do these exercises. But if you're trying to target the most basic or the most, I say someone who is looking to the most beginning,
right?
Individual who is looking to start doing something. I'm telling you, from what I see on Facebook, I'll be like, on Instagram, I'll be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Or whatever program you're selling, I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
Because I feel like if this is what you're advertising, I already know that ain't for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you've heard of the KISS acronym, keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
So I think that's another thing, like simplicity. So we have enjoyment, we have simplicity. The next thing, I think, to your question of how does a person learn discipline or help it, sometimes accountability, not even sometimes, but all the times accountability. But I think accountability, someone on your behind, is a good way to stay on course. There's different opinions about what do they say? Keep your goals to yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm on the other side of that. Don't tell everybody what you're doing, but the people that you know have your best interests at heart and want to see you succeed, I think you should share your ambitions with them. I think you should share your fitness ambitions with them and give them the opportunity to hold you accountable.
Yeah, I agree.
So you may not need to broadcast it to every single person because everyone does not have your best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. But I do think you need to tell someone what you intend to do so that way they can hold you to it. Because if no one's there to hold you to it, you could just bow out gracefully and quit and no one will ever know. But if you've made it public to a certain sector of people, those people can then check back on you and say, hey, how's the fitness been going? How's the workout been going? And then if you feel uncomfortable, you probably should feel uncomfortable if you've been slacking off, because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like at some point everything can't be comfortable for you. Like I've had people who've been on my behind about stuff, and then in hindsight, I thank God for them. In the moment, I was like, damn, bro, you on my back. Or, damn, why are you on my back? But in hindsight, I'm grateful for those people because I needed that kick in the butt. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that is what you need. You need a kick in the butt and someone to keep you going, to help you continue forward, because they know you can do it. You just need to get that. You just need to keep, get that push.
Yeah.
So we have enjoyment, we have simplicity, we have accountability. What do you think in your experience are some things or another thing I think that can help a person with discipline? Well,
I really like what you said about accountability. Because I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, and when I got started and I had the goal set for myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't tell anyone at first. Because I was one of those people, like, I didn't want anyone to make it seem like I was weak or I was just like unable to meet whatever goals it was. And my goals were based on my the physical readiness standards that's set in the Navy or whatever. Because I used to get like nervous around PRT time where how many push-ups I'm going to be able to do. Am I going to be able to run the 1.5 miles without walking or feeling like I got to pass out or anything like that? Never thrown up, but there's always a time for a first. So I didn't tell anyone at first, but I think as I started seeing the results and as other people started noticing the results, that's when I began to, share what I was doing with others, people that I work with. And then even kind of just made it a thing with the people that I was around mostly. And it's just people at work. Mm-hmm. With that, once I got to my last command, this is when I started trying out different diets. So that's when I first started out doing the intermittent fasting. And of course, I'm in an office setting. So, with office, people always want to bring in food. There's mm-hmm. always potlucks and stuff like that. Yep. So I had to, for me, like I would start sharing, hey, like these are my goals. This is what I'm doing for diet or whatever. I'm also a fitness leader. So, hey, I want you guys, I want to help you guys meet whatever goals you want to meet, or if, you're trying to lose, you're trying to meet this weight standard. By the time weigh-ins come in, let's start working out together. So I put together, a group of people who wanted to improve their physical health and had their own goals and stuff, and just was looking for somebody to like push them.
Right.
And I think we was talking about community for the last several weeks, the importance in being in a community. So that was the community for me. We're a bunch of people who had our own individual goals or whatever. Mm-hmm. We bounced our ideas off each other. And I think I built them up to a point where, hey, they wanted to do it. They were looking forward to doing it. And I think it's because we just had that group. That's why I enjoy group exercises. That's why
I'm actually glad you mentioned community, because that is an extension of accountability.
Yep.
In a positive light. I think people sometimes they hear the word accountability as like a teacher, like you need to be doing this and not and more so, or not the same thing as like having a group of people,
right?
And we're all in this thing together, and we're all working towards either our individual goals, or we all have a goal that we're trying to achieve together. Let's say you have a group of women, maybe they may be coworkers,
mm-hmm.
Family members, and they say, hey, we got a little family challenge or coworker fitness challenge. Mm-hmm. Let's all try to lose 20 pounds together.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So then what happens when, let's say 2 people are rising, 2 people may be struggling. Those 2 that are at the top can lift those other 2 up that are struggling. Everyone rises together. Everyone comes up together. No person left behind. And that is the beauty of community within a fitness space. Mm-hmm. If it's a positive space, mm-hmm. where it's like, yo, man, I want everybody in this thing to win. If you're going through something, you can come to me. Like, let's work this thing out together. You don't have to keep it, so then that's the other thing too. When you are in a group, in a community, and you're struggling, instead of just tapping out, you can express that frustration to your peers, and then say, hey, I know what you're going through. I felt it a week ago. I felt it 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for sharing that with us. I know that was probably hard for you to express that, but let's try to see if we can get you back right. Let's see what's been, let's work on this together. I'm willing to take some time out of my day to talk to you and help you out, because I want this for you just as much as, I have my own personal goals, but I want you to have your success as well. So that is the beauty of community. And that is another element, I think, of helping to develop a level of discipline, because you do have that support system.
Yeah, I agree. I need people to understand that even though, because you mentioned this, and I actually just had this said to me, is about how we make things look easy, right? We still struggle. Like, mm-hmm. we still have our struggles. It don't matter. I don't care where you are in your, I don't care where you are physically. I don't care where you are health-wise, mental-wise. Like, you still have something that you struggle with. All right. So I don't care how easy one make it. There's a struggle somewhere. And we ourselves still talk to people, still talk to others, still consult. I myself, man, like I can tell you, I struggle with body image all the time, and people I'm always getting complimented, but I struggle with body image. I struggle with being unmotivated. I struggle with being bored sometimes with some of my own regimens. You know what I mean? I struggle with food. I still love I love sugar. Like, I love candy. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I like sugar, but again, it's okay. I still feel like those that want to get into something, get into a routine. You have to start somewhere. We all had to start somewhere.
Right.
I've just, like you said earlier, find something you enjoy. Get the people that are closest to you involved. Whether it's your kids. I got sisters who have kids. Mm-hmm. I said, take your kids with you. Let your children, let the people around you be just as involved as you are, or make them a part of your journey. Help them with their journey.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
I mean, that's essentially what it's all about, man. Like, to kind of just circle back to the topic, what works best for you. If you're the audience out there, if you're listening, those things are important to, try to find something that you like, try to find something that you can follow along with easily, try to find something that, or a community of people who will hold you accountable either directly or indirectly. Because a support system is also accountability, but it's a support system. So it has a more positive ring to it that I think than just having someone hold you accountable, but you may also need that as well. So those to me are the things that will determine, having a successful regimen, because you got to try to find that balance. Yes, you want to work towards something, but the reward from the work shouldn't necessarily only be the end result goal. It should also be what it does for your state of mind, what it does for your, there's a feeling that there's a feeling of gratification from achievement, right? And not just achieving at the finish line, achieving on the first leg of the race, achieving on the halfway in the race.
Right.
Halfway in the race, you may have never even saw yourself starting the race. Celebrate that. I think that's another thing too. In terms of, what works best for you, setting goals that are challenging, but are realistic and goals that you can attain. Again, that taste of success can be addictive. So then I've hit this rung. Yeah. Okay. Plug it, brother. Plug it. Hey, I threw you the lob, G. I threw you the lob, brother. Go ahead, my man. Go ahead, brother. But no, man, like it just, that is a, that feeling of succeeding with something it's a great feeling. And you want to try to re-experience that. I always talk about perspective, right? So I tell people, with, let's say, for example, a weight loss goal. Can you lose 2 pounds in a week? They say, yes. I say, just keep doing that. Just repeat it. Do it once and then repeat it. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you lose 2 pounds in a week once, then there's no longer a reason to say that you can't do it, because now it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And if something's working for you, keep working it until it doesn't. It's just like if a team runs the same play and they're not stopping it, keep running the same play.
Exactly.
Run the same play. If you're getting 7-8 yards on the same play and they're not stopping it, run it down their throat. Yep. There's no need to change nothing. There's no need to change. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to. You don't have to change the playbook. If it's working, keep working it.
Yeah.
So.
And you need a hype man.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a hype man.
Exactly.
So you need, 9 times out of 10, we want someone to see what we're doing, see what results we made, what changes we made. Hype us up. You need a hype.
Yeah. Like I see you. Hey, I see you, big dog. Yeah, exactly.
You need a hype man. Find somebody who's gonna hype you up.
Right. That's a good point too. That's a good point. Like, be also, I mean, as you would like to be, I'm not gonna say need to be, but as you would probably like to be celebrated for your achievements, big up somebody else. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
I had a lady in the gym. She, I don't know what she was like. I don't know what I was doing my thing. Mm-hmm. She walked by me. She was in there for a minute. She walked by me, and I think she was getting ready to leave. She turned around. She was like doing this, and I was like, I thought it was something on my face. I was like, huh? Like I'm looking in the mirror. She was like, I thought she was deaf. I don't know what. Like she said something to me. She was like, I think you're beautiful. I was like,
oh.
I was like,
I'm a husband, ma'am.
but I was like, thank you, you too. Like I didn't want to like not return the compliment because I mean, you know, I seen her. She was in there doing her thing or whatever. I wasn't paying. I seen her, but I wasn't paying no attention. I'm not finna sit here and put myself.
I got you, brother. I got you, Doc.
I didn't see her again after that. Like, okay, so, and I don't even go to that gym no more. I just.
Oh yeah, I bet you don't. Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, I bet you. Hey, the wife got wind of that. You're like, no, that membership done. No, buddy.
Yeah, so she complimented me, and I was like, I didn't even know because I really thought she was saying something was on my face.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, thank you too. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it did make me feel good, but
it's a good feeling, right? Exactly.
So get your hype, man.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with that. I'm with that. Oh man,
we so crazy. We silly. All right, so bro. So thank you for joining me again this week. I think we definitely had I think this was something that was realistic for everyone out there. Just, you know, we want to get ourselves into a routine where we're able to, you know, just make whatever we're doing a habit. But along with that, we want to be able to enjoy it. We want to have the discipline to continue on even when we're not motivated. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, just surround yourself with, you know, individuals who are going to continue to hold you accountable, but also show you the love and support that you need towards whatever goal that you want. So,
right. This lifestyle is not necessarily easy, but it's simple. Yep. Like a lot of in the audience listening, you're gonna hear us have a lot of similar themes, even with different topics, because they all intertwine. Mm-hmm. It's all intertwined, man. So. But no, I'm happy to be on, man. I'll be getting some great feedback with our content, bro. So I think we got something good going here, and I want to continue that. You know, I think people they hear about our experiences, mm-hmm. and they can relate to it. They can relate to it, and which I think is awesome. And you know, just kind of see that, like you said, everyone has a similar feeling of self-doubt, struggling.
Yep.
You know, we're all the same in certain ways in that aspect, regardless of however far along in our journeys that we are, whether you've been working out for, you know, 3 weeks or 3 years.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So
and I experienced some of the same feelings. I've been doing this 7-8 years now, and some of the same feelings and same insecurities and stuff that I experienced when I first started, I'm still experiencing. You know what I mean? Like it come and goes. You know, like you get to a point where, you know, you want to get to that next level, mm-hmm. but then you feel knocked back.
Right.
So I still deal with those insecurities here and there, and you know, just demotivated. Every now and then. So, but again, that discipline, there's never a time where I can go through my day and not feel like I need to do something or want to do something. Or even if just last week, I told myself at least 3 times, hey man, I'm just going to rest today. Mm. Still found myself either in the gym or in here doing something. Like I'm like, man, I'm resting today. Ain't no way, man. I'm hurting. But I'm tired, man. I'm good. Man, I think I'm gonna go to the gym today. I think I got some time. I'm gonna go hit the gym today, and then
you need to have a night like I had last night. I'm gonna tell you right now, Doc. I'm resting today.
Actually, I'm resting today too. Like I got up this morning. And I went and I made the kids some breakfast. Made me some breakfast. Laid on the couch. Turned on church. Mm-hmm. laid there. Once it was church over, came right back up to my bedroom, got right in the bed, watched the boys. I was supposed to go grocery shopping, but I was like, you know what? When I found out the game didn't come on till like 4:25, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna finish up watching the boys. I'll go to the store later. I'm just gonna go pick up dinner later. Tell my wife, hey, I'm gonna go get dinner later. I ain't doing this right now. Then I walked in here. I said, I'm gonna do this real quick. Guess what I'm gonna do when I'm done? Go get back in the bed. Rest of the day.
Yes, sir. I feel that, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right, my man.
All right, take it easy.
You too, man. Next week.
Yep.
Yep.